The fourth lap, I just gave it a go and I touched the head of Abramovitz and I broke the South African record. And before the 100 meters, I couldn't mentally prepare myself. I'd given up.
Swimming is such a great sport, and I just listening to you speak now about the relays and stuff like that. Like I also swam, and like now I almost feel excited. Just I want to stand on the block there and wait for somebody to come. It's such a cool sport, even though it's individualistic. It's also very, I don't know, like you feel like you're part of a team when you're doing it. It's like the support, and it's
Well,
great.
you form a camaraderie and a bond that never ever disappears. What that sport requires, and all sports, if you want to be successful, is a tremendous discipline. And to develop that discipline from a very young age, there's no doubt that it helps you get through so many things later in life and you apply that discipline to whatever else you do in your life. Listen, life is ups and downs, and we face with challenges, whether you like it or not. But you have to learn to deal with those challenges, and it's how you get through those challenges. And trust me, it may not be pretty for a long time, and it's not all roses and rainbows life. It's just not. But it's just how you get through it. You can just roll over and give up, or you can drive. And of course, I was very fortunate to have a father who was at the pinnacle of being the best in the world when I was swimming competitively. In terms of mental preparation, I went to my dad before race because he had been there. But I'll never forget South African Nationals 1976. It was in Durban. On the Tuesday night was the 200-meter butterfly. And in the trials, in the heat in the morning, I broke the South African record. It came to the evening and I had the middle lane, but on one side of me I had probably South Africa's finest swimmer by the name of Paul Blackbeard, probably South Africa's most talented swimmer. We were great rivals in the butterfly. And then there was a guy by the name of Roy Abramovitz, who was a few years older than me, who, when I first started swimming, I looked up to him. And he had been in the States and he came to swim in the States on a scholarship and he came back to South Africa and he decided to make a comeback. And I'll never forget, so 200 is full length. And on the third lap, when we came to the wall, Blackbeard was ahead of me, just at the wall, and Abramovitz was quite a bit ahead. He was already in his fourth lap. And something inside me said, I'm not going to let these guys beat me. There's no ways. And I turned it on and I came out of the wall ahead of Blackbeard. And then I just turned on that. I held some back. The fourth lap, I just gave it a go and I touched the head of Abramovitz and I broke the South African record again. So the next morning at the heats for the 100, the race, I felt jinxed in. My dad was massaging me. I said, how should I swim? He says, go and break the South African record. And I looked at him. He says, no, I'm serious. So I did. Then came the final. And I'll never forget, same thing, one on each side. I had the middle lane. And the two of them were walking around, psyching up. And I just sat. So I learned from my dad, focus. I just sat on my chair, just staring at the lane. I didn't get up. I didn't shake my arms loose. I just focused. And in my mind, I was going through exactly what I was going to do. But I said to my dad before the final, how should I swim? Just go and do whatever you like. And I look, I said, what? He says, I'm serious. He says, you won the race. He said, go and enjoy yourself. Do whatever you like. And I just went for it. He felt that mentally I had them already. They were watching me. And I did. I won the race and broke the record again. But I had that. Obviously, I trained hard. I had the ability, but it was because of my dad. Then fast forward the same year, through my dad's birthright, I was able to get a British passport. And of course, during those days, because of the embargoes and apartheid, South Africa were banned from international competition. I went to swim in the British trials. And I trained hard, but I lacked, turns were very good, but I lacked that endurance. I just missed qualifying for the 200 meters. So I was very disappointed. And before the 100 meters, I couldn't mentally prepare myself. I hadn't almost. I'd given up. So I spoke to my dad before the race. And Gareth, I can only tell you, he laid into me and he said, all this work you've put in, you haven't done it for nothing. He says, forget about last night. He says, now you go there. He says, for your whole family and for you, go and show them what you have. And it was like, whoa. this fire just lit up inside me. It just ignited me, and I qualified for the 100. So, yeah, did I have that? Some people would say an unfair advantage of having a person like that behind me, if you want to call it that. But I was fortunate and I took the best out of it, which has given me the drive to continue to do what I do and to enable me to wake up very early in the morning and get on with it, no matter what happens.
Yeah, it's amazing like that. Just the mindset of a champion. Like he picked and chose different answers depending on the
Yes.
situation you're in to raise your game. That's a true
Mm-hmm.
champion. And the fact like I think so much of sport and life definitely is actually really about your mindset. It's that is ultimately what separates the average people from the elite people. Like it's your
Yeah.
mindset. If you can handle the pressure, handle difficult situations, and rise to the top and use your energy in the right way when you need to, then that's what separates the two. Like mindset is so key to everything that we do in life. And people don't give that enough attention, I don't think.